All right, gamers, welcome back to another Point Park Esports League of Legends match. I'm Gail, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Teresa, also known as Tete, and we're happy to be kicking off the game today.
It's another CLOL tournament. We're real excited to see what our guys are going to pull out today. Let's see what they got.
It looks like it's going to be a very interesting matchup with Columbia White University, and I think we're looking forward to a really good game.
You haven't casted since the Halloween match. How are you feeling about casting today?
I'm feeling pretty confident. It's nice to be back in the saddle. It's been a while. Since it was Halloween the last time I was dressed for Halloween as an unidentified vampire, now I am just Valentine's Day commercialism personified.
And I vibe with it. I love it so much. You're bringing so much festivity to the stream, and I am living for it.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the heart there. That's a good message.
It's close enough.
Yes. Yes.
There's some on the sleeve, too.
I love it.
We're almost there. We're almost matching. I just needed to bring in the green today for the team.
Yes. Green for the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're up for a very good match. I have not seen Columbia play, but I've heard they're pretty good. So I think we're in for a really challenging match.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for our guys here, given that it is Columbia and it's... I feel like I remember we played against them last year, and I remember it being a bit difficult, but this time we kind of hopefully have an idea on their play style, hopefully have an idea on what they're going to do, and we have the practice from last game.
True.
I'm excited to see what our guys can do with this.
That's true. I'm really excited to see what coach and the team are going to pull. So I think it's going to be a really formidable match.
I agree 100%. And maybe I don't think we're going to see the new champion in any of these games that just released last week. I don't know if the match is going to allow that, because I remember when they did the Aurelian Soul rework, they weren't allowed to play a Soul.
Oh.
But if we do see the new champion for whatever reason, I think that'll be kind of exciting.
That will be exciting if that does happen.
I think he's quite adorable.
Very adorable. I'm loving, how do I say, I'm just living for the love of Smolder. Absolutely.
He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy, and he's on an adventure.
Exactly. A little guy on an adventure, and how fitting it is, a dragon for Year of the Dragon 2024.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that was probably their plan.
Exactly. 2024 Year of the Dragon. What better character to have than a dragon, and a new dragon at that, on their way to being a dragon. I mean, a full-fledged dragon.
He's growing up. He's on his way.
He's on his way. He's on his way.
And maybe the Year of the Dragon might bring us some good luck within the games.
Yes, Year of the Dragon, according to the Zodiac, is one of the most prosperous years. It brings on a lot of wealth, fortune, and winnings. So that might bode very fortuitously for the group.
We can hope.
We can
We
hope.
can all cross our fingers and hope that the Year of the Dragon brings our boys a win.
Yes.
Maybe that'll be today.
That might be today. That might be today.
That'll be really exciting.
That would be really exciting, especially if Smolder gets to break out. What a better way to start the official Zodiac year.
Or at least if we could see one of the dragons or see one of the dragon skins.
Yes.
It would at least be close enough.
Close enough.
Because there's two other dragon champions.
Oh.
There's Aurelian Soul, who is a celestial dragon, and then there's Shyvana, who is a half dragon.
Oh.
So maybe we could see one of them, or one of the Storm Dragon skins, or one of the new Dragon Mancer skins. That would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. It would be cool to have any kind of draconian element in the game.
I agree full-heartedly.
Yes. Everything is better with dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Always.
Always better with dragons.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling the anticipation and build up for this match while we're
Me
waiting for
too.
everything to start. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm feeling the passion from the red, and it's I'm really excited to see how this game unfolds.
I'm also really excited. I sit in and I try and listen to what the team has in store, but I decided I wanted to go in a little bit blind. I wanted to see what would come up and be surprised by it, I think.
It's often the best to go into some games blind, because then you're completely wowed by the turn of events.
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the thrill, not knowing what to expect. It's kind of like when you get on a roller coaster, you don't know if you're going to pass out from anticipation or if you're just going to enjoy the drop.
And it's a great time. Plus, then we can get. It's not like, okay, I'm expecting to see this guy, I'm expecting to see that guy, I'm expecting to not have this guy in the game. It'll be more like, oh wow, we have this guy in the game. That's so exciting.
That's so exciting. Or like, what a turn of events. Did not see that coming, you know?
Plus, then I get to make funny speculations and be like, I think it would be really funny if we seen X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
even though I know it's never gonna happen. And
You never know if speculations might come true.
exactly, and it'll be really funny if it does. Like if I say something silly, like it would be funny if we seen a Teemo in this game, and then Teemo showed up. That's kind of hype.
That is hype.
Even though I know nobody plays Teemo on the team.
That is very true. I don't think I've ever seen Teemo. Who knows? This might be the exception. We may be wowed and see Teemo.
Which I feel like I wouldn't really be surprised, especially with the new item changes within League of Legends. The new item Malignance is terrifying to see on Teemo just because he has his ultimate ability is he places a bunch of little mushrooms around that are like
True.
they're like landmines.
That is very true.
And what Malignance does when your ultimate ability damages a champion, it places like a pool around them that kind of like burns them for a bit. And so now not only are you getting burned by stepping on a landmine mushroom, you're getting extra burned by the Malignance proc off of stepping on a landmine mushroom.
That's very true. So it's a bit like residual poison in a way.
It's very difficult to play against. So seeing that at a competitive scene, I think would be interesting. I don't think it's something we will see, but I think it would be neat.
It would be neat to see that in action. And I mean, and that would be kind of like helpful in the long run. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, because a lot of times it's often the slower things that kind of pay off in the long run.
Especially when you're in a game where there's a lot of tanks, that slow burn damage would kind of slowly tick off I can't think of the word, HP from their health bar. Just like slowly draining their health one by one.
Yes, and then that way, you know, your teammates can go in and just sort of take them down, and then you have Slay going on.
Another thing I like about having burn damage against anime champions, is if somebody gets away while they're still burning, it's like, okay, they have 1 HP left and they're getting away. I personally won't get greedy if I'm like, okay, I have Liandry's Anguish. I'm just gonna let them go, and maybe the burn tickle take them out.
That's true. That's true. So it's a bit of it's kind of an investment thing. Let your weapon do the work for you.
Yeah, and let yourself stay safe.
Stay safe. It's a preventative measure in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pound of prevention. I mean, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
That is true.
Very true. Yeah. So it looks like we are underway.
Here, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, just waiting for the beginning. And it's hard to believe we're in 2024.
It is really hard to believe.
Yeah. Yeah. New year, new games, new season. It's been a promising start.
It has been quite a promising start.
Yeah. Yeah. Last week's game was pretty amazing.
We did fight really hard. We had a really strong start, especially in the second game, so maybe we can bring that back, have another really strong start.
I'm feeling we could bring back that mojo, knock on wood. Yes.
Our lovely table that our viewers love so much.
They love our table.
They love our table.
It's a magnificent table
It's a wonderful table.
featuring everyone's favorite drink, Red Bull.
You should drink Red Bull.
Always drink Red Bull.
It gives you wings.
Yes, it does. It truly, truly does.
It's just in time for the Valentine's Day season also.
Yes.
Because Cupid got wings.
Cupid has wings, so
It's getting in the holiday spirit, guys. That's why you gotta drink Red Bull.
You gotta drink Red Bull. That way you can become Cupid.
Spread the love, spread the joy.
Love, spread
drink
the love.
Red Bull.
Drink Red Bull.
And also follow our socials.
Yes, follow our socials on Insta and Twitter/X, Facebook, and TikTok, and all the goodies.
We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Drop a follow. Watch our content.
Yes. Follow our content. Enjoy the wonderful esports that we have here.
We're going to step away for a moment, take a little 5-minute break while we wait for our guys to get in, and we'll see you either during the draft or right before the draft.
We'll see you guys then.
See you in a bit.
See you.
Bye. And welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. We are now back in the saddle.
Woo! It's almost game time. Everyone's almost ready. And I am so excited. I am so hyped up. Whoo!
I'm so hyped up too. I really feel the energy. I mean, already I'm hearing the energy from the team and the coach. I'm really feeling good vibes. Definitely.
I can feel myself getting pumped up.
Getting
so
pumped.
excited to see the draft, see who gets picked, see who gets banned, see the team comps we get put together.
That's very true. I think we're going to look at some very creative choices. I think sort of like maybe we're learning from, maybe do something differently from last match, see where we can improve, things like that.
Maybe see some returns from the last match that worked really well for us.
Very true, because last match was really impressive with, especially like the first half was absolutely like going at 110.
I feel like that's where Point Park shines a lot, is in our early game.
Very true.
We do really, really well in the early game. So maybe what we can try and look for here is ending the game before we get into that late game or that mid game, so we have that early game pressure. Just a quick game, just go through it. That would be kind of interesting.
That would be very interesting. A lot of times it can be deceiving, like when you first start, but it's how you finish.
100%.
Yeah. And
are we in the draft? Maybe.
I think something is going on.
And we're in the draft, guys. Let's go.
Let's see what's happening. We see it.
Looks like the first round of bans is going in.
All right, perfect. So it looks like everyone's taking careful consideration.
And a Diego ban is out first. That is interesting.
Ooh. I was not expecting that. Were you expecting that?
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, usually that's not one you would ban.
I mean, Viego's a good ban. I just wasn't expecting it for Point Park. I don't know our jungler too well, so maybe he does play Viego. However, the first ban from Point Park's side is on Urgot, which is a good top lane ban because I personally have a hard time playing against Urgot.
Good point. Very good point.
The ultimate execute is not fun.
Definitely not. That's some very far ahead thinking. And it looks like we got our second.
That's a ban on Zyra.
Oh.
And then a Twisted Fate ban from Point Park. Huh.
Interesting.
That's a really interesting one.
Oh.
The only thing I could think of is maybe Colombia's mid laner plays a lot of Twisted Fate, but Twisted Fate's not a champion you see a lot.
That's very true.
So unless there's someone who is really, really good at Twisted Fate, you often won't see him.
That's very true. You won't.
So if they have a good Twisted Fate, that's a fantastic ban.
And
then the last ban for now on Colombia's side is on Graves, which is a very good jungle ban. It looks like they're targeting the jungle right now with both Viego and Graves.
True.
And let's see what Point Park has.
Let's see. That is...
Ooh, the anticipation.
I know, the anticipation.
Let's see it.
What do we have?
Ezreal. Another really good ban.
That's true. So there's definitely some far thinking on both sides.
It looks like Point Park is more targeting multiple lanes, as we have a top lane ban, a mid lane ban, and an ADC ban.
That's true.
Whereas Colombia has 2 jungle bans and a support ban.
That's very true. So both are kind of aiming for different strategies.
First pick for Colombia seems to be Lucian. That's an ADC pick.
Oh.
Lucian is interesting because he can be paired with a lot of different champions and work really well. A lot of the champions I see him paired with that are kind of scary, you can see him with Nami, you can see him with Emilio. Any kind of enchanter support works really well with Lucian. And a Zeri pick from Point Park.
Very interesting. That is quite astonishing. Okay, that was definitely out of the blue.
I was not expecting to see a Zeri pick in this ban. Zeri has the potential to be a very, very good champion, but you have to be really, really on top of everything just because of how much Riot has nerfed her as a champion.
That's
true. And the second pick comes in, and it's going to be Maokai.
Maokai.
The question is, where are we seeing that Maokai? That could be top lane, that could be in the jungle, or it can be support.
That is true. I was not expecting this lineup so far. That is interesting.
I mean, hey, I was talking about wanting a surprise. I'm definitely
That's
getting
true.
that now.
Yes, you predicted that.
And an Ashe pick for Colombia.
Colombia, very interesting.
Ashe support does work very well. I have yet to see it with Lucian. However, I do not doubt that is actually going to work really well, especially with her auto attack slows.
Very true, very true. It looks like Colombia has their own strategy of being unconventional. So it looks like a lot of unconventionality. Oh.
Another unconventional pick
Oh
is
my
Senna.
gosh, Senna.
So wait. I can't think about what Colombia's team comp is because Senna's a support. Are we seeing Lucian Senna bot lane, Lucian Ashe bot lane, or Ashe Senna bot lane?
That's true. I mean, we're not sure what is going to be the strategy. Oh, we have third pick for Point Park, and that is
Akali.
Akali.
Akali is a very good pick. A mid lane assassin. Akali is really, really fun to play. However, she does have a really high. I can't think if it's skill cap or skill ceiling. You have to be pretty good at her to be effective.
That's very true. So would you? Oh, what do we have here?
That's a Poppy ban. That could be for top lane or jungle.
Jungle.
I love Poppy as a champion. She's
Very
so
true.
fun.
Very fun. Very fun. It's always fun to have the fun champions because they're so unexpected.
Something fun about Poppy. I really enjoy Poppy's lore because she's just a little yordle with a big hammer who doesn't realize that she's the hero supposed to be wielding that hammer. And in the next ban from Columbia University is an Aatrox ban, another top lane focused ban.
Ooh, so we're looking at sort of a different layout than maybe last match.
Well, they could be in the same position that we are right now, where we don't know where that Maokai is going. We don't know if that's a support. We don't know if that's a jungler. It looks like the last ban from Point Park side is an Ornn ban, another top lane focused ban.
Ooh, interesting, interesting.
And the last ban is on Rumble, which is another unexpected ban.
Very unexpected. This is going to be a very interesting game.
Rumble is interesting because he's another one of those champions where it's like you don't really ever see Rumble unless there's one person who took so much time out of their lives to just get really good at him.
That's
And
true.
It's really hard because Rumble is not fun to play against. And Point Park's support pick is going to be Braum.
Braum.
Huh.
This is a very interesting team.
And then a Brand pick.
Brand pick for Columbia.
That could be Brand jungle, Brand mid, or Brand support. And then their last pick is a Yorick pick, which we can safely assume that Yorick is going to be in the top lane.
Very true, very true. This is an interesting strategy.
I'm kind of excited to see where this goes, because I cannot figure out Columbia's team comp. I'm excited to see who goes where.
I'm excited to see where all this goes. It's going to be interesting to see it play out in action.
And the last pick on Point Park side is Gwen. So it looks like that Maokai pick is a jungle Maokai.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And looks like the team comp is getting ready.
They're rearranging themselves to get everyone their right champion.
Perfect.
And that means in approximately 2 or 3 minute, we'll be able to see the game.
We'll be able to.
Yes,
this is very exciting. I mean, honestly, this is a very, how do I say, very auspicious game, so to speak. It's the first game in February, and February is an auspicious month.
It definitely is. Shortest month of the year.
It only 28 days. Sometimes it's a leap year.
I think this year is a leap year.
A leap year, that makes it a very fortune-laden month. They often say too, if you're born in a leap year, that you're going to have unexpected fortunes happen on a leap year.
Leap years are every 4 years, right?
Correct. They're every 4 years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to check whether the year I was born was a leap year, because that would be really awesome, I think.
Very interesting. I know several people born in leap years, and they always have interesting things happen.
Maybe the leap year will come in handy for one of our guys.
It might be a very auspicious occasion for the team, especially with this lineup.
I'm quite excited to see where everyone ends up.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. I've never seen a lineup like this. This is very unconventional, but unconventionality combined with spontaneity, that's one heck of a combo.
My assumption right now is that it's going to be Ashe and Senna in the bot lane.
Ooh.
Lucian in the mid lane, and Brand in the jungle. That's the only thing I can really think of.
That is true. That is true.
However, it does make me happy to see Senna and Lucian in the bot lane together. simply because I think it's really funny when people play two champions who are in a relationship in the same lane.
Oh, very true.
That's why I love playing Xayah and Rakan, love doing Sun Illusion. I wish I could do Leona Diana, but I don't think Diana would work as an ADC, and I don't know how to play Leona.
That's true. That's something you don't see often.
Nope.
Oh, that's rare. Oh
would
my
be fun.
goodness, there's so much energy in the room.
So excited we have about a minute 16 on the clock until we can see what's happening in the game.
That is true.
And I'm excited. I want to see how this goes. Especially, I'm really interested to see where the Zeri pick ends up going.
Very true. I think the Zeri took us both by surprise. First, that appears, and that was like, wow.
And I know you as the viewers could not see the shock on my face, but let me just say there was shock on both of our faces. And it was very evident.
Very evident. I mean, our jaws had dropped down to the table.
Oh, I was not expecting that at all.
I was not either. I was like, very rare occurrence.
It makes me really sad that Riot had to nerf her into the ground because I think she's a really cool and really creative champion, and there's a lot going on with her that I am very, very intrigued by. I really like her lore. Her gameplay was really interesting, and I really just like her design.
It's true. She has a very interesting design, very interesting lore, and how do I say, if you know how to work with that character, you can do a lot.
But it is very hard to know what you're doing with Zeri, I found.
Very true. It's kind of an acquired playing. It's a bit like getting used to the taste of licorice.
Yeah.
It can be
But
very
also
unique.
you have a licorice allergy and you're trying to get used to the taste of it.
Very true. I did not know about licorice allergies. Oh no.
I don't actually know if those are a thing, but like that's just how I imagine it being.
Very true, very true.
All right.
All right, it looks like
We might be getting into the game here soon.
we should be getting into the game soon.
But until then, you get to listen to us talk and see our wonderful guys getting ready, getting all set up.
Exactly. You get to listen to your esports sportcasters casting.
You get to listen to us anyways, but now you get to like
You get to
enjoy it without paying attention to what's happening in the game.
exactly. That's the beauty of sports casting. And
And
oh,
We're
we are in.
And it looks like Point Park is going to be starting on top side, whereas Columbia is going to be starting on the bot side jungle. And
Interesting.
I think my predictions were correct with the Ashe set up bot lane, Lucian in the mid lane, and Brand in the jungle.
Yeah, your predictions were pretty correct. We're pretty spot on. Already.
Now, leashes are done, champions are heading back into their lanes, starting to get that CS, which is really important early game, as minions are your only guaranteed source of gold in the game.
Very true. Very true. You cannot underestimate minions. And
Looks like all teams are just setting up right now, just getting themselves ready.
true. It looks like there's some. It's a nice slow preparation rather than just going in full guns blazing.
Which is really a smart way to play the game, especially because I've found that the more patient you are and just waiting for your enemy to step out of line and jump on them sometimes benefits you really well because you still will have your mana because you're not fully engaging on them. You'll still have most of your health bar. And more likely than not, they're going to be in your personal space.
That's very true. That's very true. That is some very careful planning on both parts. And there's kind of more of an even pace, I think, that we're seeing here, which is a good thing. And
Send a stun on Braum. However, they cannot engage on that as they are under their tower.
very true. And right now,
Seems like the trades that are going off are pretty even. Mid lane's trading pretty well, bot lane's trading pretty well. We're just playing the patient game until an engage happens, someone gets caught out, steps out of line.
Very true. We're just waiting for like that little break.
The anticipation of the early game.
Exactly. Anticipation.
Looks like Maokai's looking bot side. Is that going to be looking for a gank? It is. Maokai comes in, stuns on the Sen, and first blood goes to Highway 250 on Zeri.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Braum slowing down the Ashe. The stun going off.
Double kill.
That's a fantastic start to 4 Point Park University. I was not expecting that at all. And it looks like the Zeri pick is coming in clutch.
It is. It is coming in clutch. That was very unexpected, but, you know, as you had predicted, if you know how to wield Zeri, you can get some very unanticipated results.
Especially because most of her auto attacks are going to be through her Q ability. So most of the time, instead of like clicking on the minions, you're clicking your Q towards them. However, your actual auto attack has a little bit of an execute to it. So if you could auto attack someone low health with it, it's a guaranteed kill.
Very true. Very true. And
looks like Maokai comes out of the bush, catches Brand off guard. Akali comes in around the corner.
And what are...
It's a great trade for Point Park. That was a Brand, they took out Brand's flash. He does not have that for the upcoming engages. And he's out of the fight now. He has
out of the fight.
He can't do anything. His health bar is too low to contest.
Too low. Yeah, this was very good strategy. That was a very good strategic move.
Looks like right now Point Park has a 1k gold lead, a 2-kill lead, and lanes are pretty evenly pushed right now. It looks like all the lanes except for maybe bot lane are pushed down to the center. However, Akali is engaging on Lucian right now, taking out most of his health bar.
Very true. Very, very good. Very good so far.
Right now it looks like Columbia is setting up for drag. Brand is over there. However, Point Park has so many wards in around the drag that if Columbia tries to go in, they will get seen. So they either have to clear those wards now before, like, planning on going in, or they have to just wait till those wards run out, or get wards of their own in there.
Very true. So already there's some strategic moves already laid out ahead.
Yes, yes. And it looks like Point Park right now is looking at the dragon, having Maokai start attacking it, letting bot lane push up. Mid lane right now is too distracted to really get pushed up.
That's very true, and we're seeing here... Oh, we're seeing some action here.
Lucian ult goes out, but Akali dashes around it, completely dodging it.
Oh my gosh.
Gwen's engaging on the Yorick, however, Yorick's ult is out. Gwen's ult goes out, and the ignite. And the kill goes to Nujabes.
Nujabes forever. My gosh, wonderful. Red team has slain the dragon.
Akali jumps in, goes in on Brand. However, there's not much Akali can really do right now, so she's just hiding in her shroud.
Very true, very true. And we're looking at 10.7k gold for Point Park.
Another engage is going on down in the bot lane. A Braum stun goes off on the Senna, and Highway gets another kill.
Another kill. Awesome.
Rivero comes down.
Double kill.
Engaging on Ashe. And there's nothing they can do.
Very interesting. Now we're looking at a 5-point lead. This is very interesting. We're definitely seeing some strong energy.
Right now, Point Park can start taking down that tower. And I'm interested to see if any of the teams look for Grubs here, because Grubs is a very, very valuable objective just because of the tower push potential it has. Especially since Columbia has Yorick on their side, who's known as the tower pushing champion. If there's a Yorick on your team, you can expect him just to stay in his lane and just push it in.
That's very true. That's very true. That was a very, how do I say, that was a really advanced pick on their part. But so far we're looking at a very heated battle, so to speak. Very heated battle between
Point Park and Columbia.
Exactly. And Point Park is still with a 5-point lead and 13.3k gold.
Braum coming all the way from the bot lane to help Gwen engage on the Yorick. A stun goes out. And let's see here.
Ooh.
Another kill goes to Ninjabi's on Gwen.
Perfect.
Point Park is now 7 kills ahead and about 3k gold ahead of the enemy team. Looks like Lucian's engaging on Akali, completely unaware that Point Park's jungler and support are right around the corner, and
Another
kill goes to Maokai.
Yes, perfect. Now we're at an 8-point lead and a 15.5k gold for Point Park.
However, it does look like Columbia's bot lane is pushing in on that Zeri, who's been left alone in the lane, defend for herself. However, she is getting solo lane XP.
Very true, very true. So we're bound to see something interesting happen here.
And Point Park gets the first set of grubs, I think.
Perfect.
Well, no one can really contest it right now.
Yes, Point Park has slain the Void Grubs.
We love getting grubs. Even if it's like one grub, that's one less grub for the enemy team.
Exactly, exactly. Always get your grubs.
And it looks like there's going to be a bit of a rotation going on down in the bot lane with Akali from the mid lane circling down, waiting to see if there's an engage that can happen. And Point Park's jungler is going to be invading Columbia's jungler.
Very true. Looks...
Oh, but he gets found by the Yorick. Got out of that cage just in time.
Just in time. That was a close call. Even had me on the edge of the seat. Bit of a jump scare.
If that was me in that situation, I would not have survived. I struggle getting caught out in the game. If I get caught out, it's usually game over for me.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's true. I mean, it is a stun. You know what I mean? You have to have like a second reflex. We're still holding... We're still looking at an 8-point lead for Point Park and a 17.5k gold.
And it's almost a 3k gold lead given the 0.7.
Very true.
It looks like a stun goes off on the Braum. However, Senna and Ashe can't really engage on that, knowing that Zeri's right around the corner and they are in Point Park's territory.
That's true. We're seeing something here. We're seeing some
light engages, some little pokes. However, top lane right now is very pushed in. Columbia is right up on Point Park's tower, and Ninjabi's is really, really low health.
Very low health. That is dangerously low health.
Down in the bot lane, Akali is coming around the corner for a gank to try and contest that Brand, who is showing his face towards the bot side of the map. Braum goes in, engages on Senna. Akali comes around the corner. A stun goes off, Akali goes in, and a kill goes to Ive.
Now we're at we are looking at a 9-point lead for Point Park and a 19.4 gold.
And now the tables have turned. Point Park's minions are now under Columbia's tower. Both mid lane and bot lane are pushed up, which is a great opportunity to try and start looking towards drag, which will be coming up in about 1 second here.
Exactly. It's a very smooth game so far.
It's very... Akali goes in on Lucian. Lucian tries to dash away, but Akali follows right up. Lucian's ult goes out. Ive gets a kill. However, that Senna ult comes all the way down from bot lane, getting the shutdown on Ive. However, we can see here in the jungle, Ribeiro and Maokai got a little bit caught out by Brand, but not too caught out, as he was able to escape with not only his life, but half of his health bar.
That was quite a save. That was quite a save. Looks like Ninjabi's health bar looking good.
Looks like Point Park flashes in on Brand, gets the stun off, pushes him against the wall. Another kill goes to Highway.
Highway.
Highway is now 5-0 on Zeri with a 500 gold bounty.
And now we're looking at potentially
taking the drag. Which is 1 more point closer to having Dragon Soul. And after this dragon goes down, we get to see exactly what soul these teams are going to be fighting for. Let's see. It's going to be Infernal Drake. Oh, that'll be really exciting.
That will be very, very exciting.
Infernal Drake will benefit both teams greatly with that Gwen, with that Akali, with that Zeri for Point Park. And on Columbia's side, it'll benefit the Senna, it'll benefit the Ashe, it'll benefit the Brand and the Lucian. And probably Yorick, now that I'm thinking about it.
Very
And
true.
with the update that came with the Infernal Drake, you can pick up the cinders that are lying around the map and get the ability haste. However, Ribeiro got a little bit caught out by the enemy, but throws out his ult. Zeri ult goes out. Another kill goes to Highway 250. Senna runs away with a stun, and Highway gets the double kill.
Double kill. Perfect.
That might be first tower for Point Park if they continue to decide to push that. In the bot lane, Akali goes in, ults away, and Ive gets the kill on Lucian, narrowly escaping.
Narrowly escaping. Yes. I mean, we're seeing some very big victories here, but also some very close saves.
Akali, realizing she can't recall, goes in, attacks the brand, and gets another kill.
Ive has the perfect slain.
Whew.
Objective.
Point Park right now is in the lead. The score is 1-15, and that's what? That's almost a 6K gold lead, or maybe that's just a 5K gold lead because Colombia has 6K, well, 0.6K. I don't know. I'm not good at math. That's why I play video games. An engage goes in. Braum coming out of the woodwork to jump on top of that Yorick, saving Nunjabi's life.
That was a good
Gwen's
save.
ult goes out, and Nunjabi's gets the kill.
The kill. We're looking at 16 points for Point Park and 26.9k gold.
The Senna ult goes out, trying to hit Gwen up in the top lane. However, just narrowly missing.
Narrow. It's so narrow. It is very much skin of the teeth.
Colombia's bot lane is pushed up on Point Park's tower again, dealing tons of damage to that tower that Zeri can't really fight off right now.
That is
However,
true.
the wave is coming up, and an objective bounty has been claimed. However, they lost their lives for that.
True.
Highway 250 getting another double kill, now being 9-0.
We are... It's starting to intensify the game.
Cully goes in under Lucian's tower,
Ive on a killing
takes
spree.
him out right as his ult goes off, and next turret goes to Point Park in the bot lane.
We are... And right now, we are at a 19 point for Point Park. And we have a 30.3k gold.
Nujabes and Ribeiro coming in on the Yorick again. Can he escape? Oh! Kai right around the corner, getting that kill on Yorick.
That was
Well, the kill went to Nujabes, but he did help out with it by getting that slow out.
It was definitely good teamwork there.
And now Point Park can start looking towards the Rift Herald, maybe take that, send it down a lane, take out another tower.
And we're looking at some very interesting strategies working here.
Looks like Colombia's bot lane and mid lane have switched positions, sending Senna and Ashe into the mid lane and Lucian down bot. And Point Park's going to follow that up by also switching mid lane and bot lane, having Zeri in the mid lane and sending Akali back down bot to maybe catch Lucian from behind.
Oh, red team has defeated the Rift Herald.
It'll be really interesting to see where Point Park places the Herald. I feel like placing it mid would not be a bad idea. However, they do have to clear out all three of these guys. The Maokai ult goes out. Nujabes coming in from behind, and Highway gets another kill, taking out Brand. Senna ult goes out, but it is not enough to do any damage. Akali is engaging on Lucian down in the bot lane as all of this happens, and Rift Herald goes out mid.
Very fascinating. I am just stunned. My jaw is literally on the table. Just saying
As
what's
this is
unfolding.
happening, Colombia is taking the opportunity, playing Yorick to take out that top tower, trying to trade a little bit for losing both mid tower, maybe losing the third mid tower as Rift Herald comes in and takes out half of that tower's health bar.
We're seeing a lot of strong energy here.
That is all three towers going down in one singular push. That is very impressive to see.
Very impressive. In one fell swoop, as they say.
And it looks like Drake has spawned, and the teams can start looking towards that. I'm predicting seeing a team fight. However, it looks like nope, we're still in. We're still in. Let's go.
Let's go.
Woo!
Yay!
Yippee!
Yee. And the Ive is unstoppable.
Getting another kill on the Brand as Nujabes gets a tower in the top lane.
We are oh my, the energy here is amazing. We got a 23 for Point Park and a 37.5. And we're seeing the dragon.
Looks like Point Park might get this tower on Nujabes. Distract solution in the top lane.
Red team has slain.
One more point before Soul. But will the game last long enough to even see that Soul?
Will we see that? That will be...
See it momentarily.
Yes.
But for now, gotta see where this game goes.
We gotta see where this game goes. This is a very intense game.
Kali hiding in a bush, catching York off guard. However, she does get caught in the York cage as Miss Maiden attaches to her and starts just trying to steal her life.
Definitely seeing that health bar go down.
York just has too much of a health bar. However, not for long. Oh, the shutdown.
Shutdown.
York does get the shutdown on Ive. I do not remember how big of a shutdown that was, but it was a pretty big shutdown given that Ive was 8-1 before that. Speaking of scores, if we look down at our bot laner scores, Highway is 10-0 with a 700 gold shutdown.
That is impressive.
That is insane.
That is pretty wild.
And it looks like we're looking at a team fight up in the top lane. Zeri ult goes out, Braum ult goes out, and Maokai ult goes out. Highway gets a triple kill.
Triple kill.
Quadra kill, maybe? We've seen a quadra kill here.
That is rare. That is rare.
I'd say go for the penta, but Yorik's all the way down in the bot lane, and she will not make it in time. Well, he will not make it in time. I mean, I'm using champion genders now.
Ace.
And the ace goes out, and Nujabes getting the kill on York.
We are seeing some very interesting developments. This is...
Columbia University has set out a surrender vote on the game. And the victory goes to Point Park.
The victory goes to Point Park. Amazing. Very impressive game.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Amazing. What did you think of that? I was amazed.
That was exciting. That was so fun to cast.
That was incredible to cast. That was incredible to watch. Imagine just being part of the audience and seeing that happen.
I can imagine it. I hope you guys were excited by it because I most certainly was.
As was I. What do you think? What do you think were some of the best strategies you saw laid out in the game?
Honestly, I think having Braum roam up the top lane to kind of help out a bit there and really focusing on top lane was really smart. As I remember in the game from last week, one of our biggest issues was top lane was kind of left alone to its own devices, which is usually what happens. However, the enemy team's top laner ended up a lot stronger than Point Park's top laner, which caused a big issue in the late game. However, they were able to pay attention to the top lane, keep all of the lanes in check, which benefited everybody in the end.
That's very true. I think we saw a lot of well laid out preparation, and that pays ahead. You know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in this case. A very impressive victory lead. That was impressive.
And just like I said, we stomped on him in the early game, and we stomped that game out before it could even enter the late game, which was really good for Point Park, as I said, Point Park really, really does well in the early game.
Very, very much so. And, you know, I was a little worried. I thought early game strong, but the early game lasted through the entire game. It was strong throughout the whole game. So despite, you know, two-thirds of the game, it was just a really, really impressive match.
100%.
Yeah.
And
I think we've just seen a lot of good strategies.
I 100% agree. I think it was fantastic.
It was. I think a lot of it. Do you think a lot of it does? Do you think being unconventional at times pays off?
I think in Point Park's case, it really paid off, especially with that Zeri pick, and she was able to go. I think it was like 10-0.
Very true. The Zeri pick, though unexpected, really brought some amazing results. I was not expecting that, especially with, you know, how we saw some of those strong attacks. because there were times where it was very close, where it looked like, some members were going to get slain.
And I think what Point Park had was a very well-rounded team. There was the squishier champions who did more damage, and then there was the champions who were a bit tankier, had a bit more of a health bar to really round it out. Whereas if you look at Columbia's team, they only had York who had any sort of health bar, and the rest of their team was made up of a bunch of people who were really squishy.
Very true. Very true. I mean, Columbia did have a very interesting, team setup, but like you said, only York had like, the strong health bar.
And I think right here, we're going to take another short pause before the next game, and we hope to see you guys there.
We'll hope to see you guys. We'll see you in a bit.
See you in a moment.
See you in a moment.
Hi, guys!
We are back.
And it looks like we're going to be getting into the draft here soon, which is really exciting.
Very exciting. We are fresh off the heels of a very hot game, so let's see what the next game holds in store for us.
I'm really excited to see if the picks change, if the bans change.
Very true. I mean, we're probably going to see something different go on, especially given how the previous game turned out.
And it looks like we are in the draft right now. It looks like Columbia is going to keep that Viego ban, and Point Park is going to keep the Twisted Fate ban. However, there is now a Karma ban coming from Point Park.
Very interesting. That is interesting.
Very, very interesting to see.
Very. We are looking at some interesting happenings. Right now we're looking at...
Well,
do we have another ban?
I think that Columbia just might have not banned the champion on that second ban, or it's just not coming through. But however, I think they just skipped out on banning anyone there. And let's see if Point Park bans anybody.
We are seeing our next ban in 5.
And it's going to stick with the Urgot ban.
Urgot ban. That's very true. That was...
The next ban is the Akali ban.
Akali
Columbia said, we do not want to see that Akali again.
We do not want to see Akali again. That's true.
Looks like the first pick is going to be going to Point Park University, and it's going to be an Aphelios pick.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Very different from the Zeri pick from before, but I am excited to see it.
Very interesting to see where this lineup goes. It does seem to show that there's different strategies being applied, and they pay off. Hopefully it will pay off in this game.
And it looks like Columbia's going to be going with the Samira pick, a lot more of an aggressive laner, and they're going to be taking that Maokai from Point Park.
Very true. Maokai created quite a bit of damage in the previous game.
Now Point Park has to wonder, where are we seeing that Maokai? Is that support? Is that jungle? Is that mid lane? Not mid lane, top lane.
That's true. Depending on where the placement is, that can really alter or make you adapt the strategy.
And it looks like the next pick for Point Park is that Rumble, which Columbia had banned in the round before.
Very true.
I was not expecting that. I didn't actually know anyone played Rumble. Honestly,
that's very true.
I'm living for it. I like the Rumble pick.
Very true. I like it. I like it. I Rumble love.
And a Vi pick.
A Vi pick?
Ooh.
A Vi pick? Very, very interesting.
Is that going to be Vi in the jungle, mayhaps? Is that going to be Rumble in the top lane, mayhaps? I don't know.
It's going to be a very interesting setup. It's going to, wherever they choose to place them, it's going to be very, very interesting.
I'm pretty excited to see it.
I'm excited to see it too.
And let's see the next pick for Colombia. It's going to be a Shen pick. So that is their top laner already picked.
Very true.
Now let's see the next band's coming in here. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can hear the drum roll, but I'm doing a little drum roll. And the next band coming in is Emilio band.
Emilio band.
Which is not a bad band. Emilio in with Aphelios is really, really rough. I've played it once before, and I had a great time playing it, but I don't think the enemy team had a great time playing it. And the next band from Point Park is the Aatrox band.
Aatrox.
Aatrox was also banned in the last game. I just don't remember where Aatrox was banned. And the last band from Colombia is a Renata Glask band.
Very interesting. And we're seeing
A Jax band. So mostly top lane focused bands from Point Park, and the last two bands from Colombia were support bands. That's very interesting.
very interesting. I think maybe people are taking into consideration how the previous game unfolded. So they're anticipating
Having
that.
a roaming support.
Yeah, exactly. Because roaming support, at the end of the day, really does win the
And
game.
the next pick for Colombia is that Morgana pick.
Very interesting.
Morgana with Samira is a deadly combo. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with that kind of combo. We're getting another pick in 10 seconds.
Mayhaps before then, I am having so much anticipation right now. I'm so excited to see who gets picked. Because right now, we have the support open and we have the mid lane open. And it's going to be a Zoe pick for the mid lane.
A Zoe pick. Interesting. Very interesting.
And now we just have to see the last pick of the game, which is going to be our support, I think.
I
I think.
the next 10 seconds, or before then, we are looking at anticipation.
Leona pick.
Leona pick.
Aphelios is very interesting to see. And the last pick from Columbia University is Syndra in the mid lane to contest against that Zoe.
Interesting. We are looking at some interesting lineups on both teams.
I'm really excited to see where this goes.
I'm very excited to see where this will all go.
So we've got Rumble top, Vi jungle, Zoe mid, Aphelios Leona bot, and on Columbia's side, we have Shen top, Syndra mid, Maokai jungle, and Samira Morgana bot.
Very interesting. I mean, this is going to be interesting to see how all of this unfolds and what we're going to see in terms of attack strategies. Yeah.
The Leona pick into the Samira is not a bad idea, especially because Leona is a tank and has that health bar to be able to go in while Samira is ulting, and Leona is loaded with stuns, so she can go in Samira's ult, stun her out of it, and hopefully Aphelios can follow up from behind and mayhaps get a kill out of it.
Yes, exactly, and I think we're going to look at a very, very heated game. It's definitely like toe to toe. Looks like we're just waiting to enter in the game. But
2.5 minutes here.
2.5 minutes. So far, there is a lot of good energy. Just everyone's like regrouping on to the next battle.
I'm excited to see if we can see any repeats from last game, with Point Park having that really strong early game and closing the game off early, or if we see something where Point Park can, I'm trying to think of the word.
So sort of like see if there's maybe another repetition of good strategies that were employed, or
Yeah. I remember where I was going with that, or if we see anything new from Colombia where they try and stomp Point Park early in that early game.
That's very true. We may see something, for Colombia to put some new strategies in course now that they've had sort of like an idea of where the first game went. Especially with the lineup Colombia picked. Colombia picked a very, very interesting, impressive lineup. A lot of strong energy there.
So much strong energy.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the Morgana and Samira combo.
I'm excited to see where this goes.
I am too. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen here. You know, we may be looking at a very, very intense game. We may be looking at, you know, like I said, toe to toe.
All right, so there is going to be a little bit more of a delay before we start the game, but it will be no problem. It's going to be the same team, same everything. Just we need to have a little bit more of a delay to get some things situated.
Just some
Technical difficulties.
technical difficulties. That happens.
You'll have that when you're playing games online,
You will.
and that's okay.
Exactly. That's just anticipatory. That's just every day. And you get to hear us talk more.
Exactly, and who doesn't love hearing us talk?
Exactly. Who doesn't love hearing us talk?
Nobody. Everybody loves... Oh, and we get a kiss
We
from
get a
Kai.
kiss. Thank you. Always share the love. It's the month of love.
Exactly.
We are here for the love. We are here for the amour.
And we are here for League of Legends, even though there's not much love in League. Where is there?
There I think every game has love.
They do have the Valentine's Day skins.
Very true. Oh, to see that. Maybe we'll see that next week or the week after.
Mayhaps.
Maybe.
I know that we could have a Valentine's Day skin in this game, given that Vi does have 2 entire Valentine's Day skins, and one of them is really cool.
Very interesting. We may see that. I would love to see
I
that.
don't remember who else was in the draft who would also have a Valentine's Day skin, because I know there's a lot of champions who have them, but I don't know if anybody on the team had them.
That's very
Syndra
true.
does not have one. Let's think about the other side. That was...
Morgana
Morgana does not have one.
does not have one. Zoe
Zoe does not have one.
does not have one. Aphelios.
Aphelios does not have one.
Oh my
Okay, it's
goodness.
just Vi. It's just Vi.
Just by, oh my. We need more Valentine skins.
There is a lot of them for like a lot of other champions. I know the champions that do have them. I know Ashe has one. I know Jinx has one. I know Amumu has one. I know Caitlyn has one. I know Ezreal and Lux are getting some in the Wild Rift game, which makes me so sad because they are so cool looking, but we will never see them on PC. Makes
Oh
me
my
sad.
goodness, that's so sad. That is a shame.
It's like I get exclusive skins, but they look really cool. And I'm a Lux player.
Of course.
I want Barbie doll Lux.
I mean, if one is going to play Life is Short, play Lux. Lux is love.
Lux is toxic.
Good point.
Lux does too much damage for support.
Very true.
When I play Lux, all I do is steal the ADC's kills.
That is a good point. That is toxic. That is toxic, like Britney Spears' song.
True! It is very fun, though.
That is true. Just like the song.
That is my favorite Britney Spears song. It's also probably the only one like I actually properly know.
Very true. That is a classic. To quote the one character from Doctor Who, a classic Earth ballad.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And now we're just getting everything set up right now.
We are.
Re-picking the champions. Like I said, it's going to be the same champions. Now we just have to wait a bit longer for that draft delay. So you get to sit here and listen to us while that all happens.
Exactly. You get to listen to our voices and enjoy the casting. There's nothing more enjoyable than having 2 animated casters.
Exactly. Animated casters are fantastic. Actually, casters are fantastic in general. You want to know what else is fantastic? Following our socials.
Yes, follow our socials for more animation.
Maybe not like specifically animation. I mean, we do have the animated
Very
graphics
true.
made by our lovely crew.
Right.
We love them for it.
Yes. Looking as animation as in spirit. But yes, do follow our socials on Instagram, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, on YouTube,
On TikTok.
on TikTok, on
I can't remember what else we have.
Twitch.
We do have Twitch.
Very
Assuming
true.
that knowing that's where y'all are all watching it right now.
Exactly.
Follow our Twitch if you haven't already.
Exactly.
Get updates of when we're streaming.
Exactly.
Stop
Get
by a
updated.
bit more often.
Yes. And enjoy the awesome graphics made lovingly by our crew. And we'll soon be entering in.
And now we're gonna be back in about the 3-minute delay starting here soon,
Yes.
which means it's almost game time,
Almost game time.
and we could not be more excited.
We could not be more excited. Definitely feeling the rumble of energy ripple right through.
Whew.
Whew, I know. This is exciting.
I'm so excited now because we actually get to see where this game is gonna go. That's hype.
Totally hype, totally hype. I mean, and who knows how this is all going to unfold. I mean, we were totally taken surprised by last game, so I think we're maybe we'll see double the energy in this game.
100%.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm really excited.
I'm very excited.
I have a little bit of a bias when it comes to seeing things happen in the bot lane, but I'm excited to see the Aphelios Leona bot lane versus the Morgana Samira.
Yeah.
I really, really adore Aphelios as a champion just because of how different he is from most of the other champions in the game.
What would you say is Aphelios' strongest advantage?
Not a lot of people understand how he works. Aphelios as a champion, his setup isn't like everybody else's. He doesn't really have all of the 4 abilities. He has technically 3 like ability buttons. One of them is switching between guns, and then there's his ultimate, and then there's choosing whatever ability that gun has. However, he does rotate between 5 different weapons throughout the game, depending on how much ammo each one has, and he's constantly switching, and it's really hard for someone who doesn't really understand Aphelios or has ever played him before to know, okay, I don't know what weapon's going to come up next after this one. Even, like, playing Aphelios, it's really hard to figure out his weapon rotation, how to effectively work around them.
That's very true. So it's a constantly changing, it's a bit of a revolving door of changes, so that actually makes Aphelios more formidable.
However, it does make him a lot more difficult to play.
That is true. That is true. So it seems like we're seeing a lineup of, we're seeing a lineup of characters and champions that are not normally used because they sort of require a lot of dexterity.
And it's going to be very interesting to see the mid lane battle because Zoe is very fun to play, Syndra is very fun to play, and in my recent memory, I do not recall ever seeing a Zoe Syndra game, so I can't even predict how this is going to go. So I'm really, really excited to see that. I honestly just love watching Zoe players play because her kit is very interesting and it fits her character and her personality very well. It's very unique in its own way, and I like it for that.
That is true. I mean, we're looking at we're looking at very interesting combos playing off of both teams, and maybe we'll see that energy unfold. I think we're in for a very interesting game.
Very, very interesting game.
Very.
Only about 30 seconds left, and we'll be into the game. We'll be able to see what happens. Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited, I know. I mean, now we have 20 seconds left to enter the game. And we are going to see some very, very unconventional combos at play here.
I think they're actually pretty conventional. It's just going to be really interesting to see.
Very true.
I love watching how champions work together and how they don't and what everyone can do with it. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know how Rumble in the Shen's gonna go. I don't think I know enough about Rumble. I never see him in a game.
You know what? You're right. That is not... We're about to see what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I know Rumble as a champion is very powerful when you know what to do with him. However, I don't see him enough to know if that's a good matchup in the Shen or if Shen counters that, because Rumble has damage, but Shen has the shields. Which is another thing with Shen you have to watch out for, is if you have to make sure that his ultimate doesn't go off. So once Shen hits level 6, you really, really got to keep an eye on him.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And we're going to be getting into the game here soon.
Very
That's really
soon.
exciting.
Very,
Let's
very exciting.
see. Not quite yet, but
Not quite yet.
we'll be there in a moment. The game is... There we are.
There we are. We are in the game.
And it looks like the entirety of Point Park is down in the bot lane. I think they're going to be looking for the invade here.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe waiting till minions spawn a bit. Looks like Columbia might start warding up a few places to try and prevent that invade. They're lining up at all points along the map. All entrances to try and prevent that invade.
Oh.
Samira walks up just a bit, completely unaware that Point Park is hiding in that bush just across the way.
Minions have spawned.
And it looks like they are not looking for the invade. Or are they? I don't know what's happening.
I'm not sure too. We're looking at...
Okay, it does not look like there's going to be an invade. It looks like Point Park is just going to go to their lanes.
All right.
And the M7 flash from Ive on Zoe.
And...
Wait, is that Morgana jungle? Wait. Oh, that is not what I was expecting at all.
Oh my goodness. We are looking at...
So there is something unconventional going on here.
That is true. I mean, okay, that was unprecedented. I was not expecting that to start off the game.
I falsely assumed that was going to be Maokai jungle Morgana support. Okay, this will be really interesting to see.
This will be very interesting. We're looking at some very... Okay, it looks like both teams want to use different strategies. They're really going for unexpected movements.
Looks like Rumble is hard engaging on that Shen, getting him down so he could focus on his own health, his own minion wave, and keep Shen away from it. Samira and Maokai are heavily pushing into Point Park, while Zoe heavily pushes into Syndra.
Ooh.
That flamethrower on Rumble is terrifying.
That is pretty strong. We are looking at... All right.
It's starting slow off with the very first few waves, not really engaging on anybody, just doing mild trades, doing some poke, just letting the waves come. Point Park's just letting the waves come to them, and Columbia is just letting their wave push as it wants to.
Yes, we're looking at... I think right now it's a bit of a push and pull situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to start the game. Not much ever really happens in the early game.
That's true. That's true. I mean, we do see some groundwork laid, but I think this game might just be slightly different than the previous. Or maybe very different. We'll see.
There are very different champions going on in each lane.
There are. Was not expecting that lineup.
I'm still shocked that I mixed up where Maokai and Morgana were going.
It's true. I mean, we're definitely... I think we're just going to see the unexpected throughout this whole game.
Looks like Vi and Leona coming up around the corner. They saw Morgana walk through that bush as it was boarded, but it does not look like they're really going to engage on that, as Maokai and Samira are right around the corner.
We do see that.
Up in the top lane, we could see Rumble and Shen just slowly trading on each other, hitting each other with some abilities. Yeah. Maokai comes up to try and engage on Ribeiro on Vi. However, Kai coming up around the corner with Leona to kind of look at him funny and scare them off.
Exactly.
Zoe's rotating down.
Rotating down.
Oh, the stun goes off on Leona. They go in, and First Blood goes to Kai.
First Blood goes to Kai. Interesting.
However, while all that was happening, Maokai and Samira are turning around and looking at Highway. Maybe going in. It does not look like it.
Not. Oh.
Mid and top lane are still pretty evenly trading.
True. We're looking at... It's pretty balanced right now, but that could turn at any second.
Okay, let's just wait and see where this goes then. Patiently waiting for anything at all to happen. Leona goes in with the stun, going in on Maokai. Another stun goes out, and a root from Aphelios. The amount of CC that Point Park has in this bot lane right now, absolutely insane.
Insane. That is some intense stuff.
However, it looks like Morgana from Colombia is looking at turning around on that Zoe, as Zoe is very, very pushed up right now. Nope,
Okay,
it looks like Zoe and Vi are going to go in on the Morgana around the Void Grubs. Morgana puts up the spell shield to try and escape, gets a stun off on Vi. Nobody loses their life in this matchup right now. Or do they?
Or do they? Wait.
Ive gets a kill on Morgana. The score is now 2-0 in favor of Point Park.
Yes, and we're looking at a 9.7k gold for Point Park.
It's about a 1k gold lead. That is pretty interesting to see. Or it's about 1k, yeah.
About 1k, yeah.
Now let's see here. It looks like Point Park is going to be looking at taking the grubs from that engage, really capitalizing on Morgana needing to respawn before even coming back. However, Syndra is poking Zoe.
That is true. Zoe's health part is going pretty down.
First grub goes to Point Park. Second grub goes to Point Park.
Oh my gosh.
And the third grub goes to Point Park.
Yes.
Ribeiro has gotten all 3 of the first set of grubs.
And now... Oh. More grubs.
Yes, we will be having more grubs in, it looks like 7 minutes maybe?
Possibly.
I know more grubs will eventually come. However, will they come in enough time before Rift Herald spawns at 15 minutes?
That's very true. And we are looking at... Right now there's just a bit of a lull in the game. Not quite a lull, but we're looking at...
Shen jumping in on Rumble.
What can happen here? Okay, that's pretty intense. That is toe-to-toe.
Everywhere is pretty evenly matched. It looks like Colombia might start rotating towards Drag or towards bot lane for the gank, maybe?
That's
They're
true.
thinking about it.
They're thinking, yeah, that's true. They are thinking about it.
Maybe thinking about pushing up that wave, getting bot pressure to take that dragon. However, it does not look like Point Park is willing to give up that pressure.
It does not. Looks like there is a steady finger on the pulse.
Shen and Rumble just still trading up in the top lane, minding their own business. Not really messing with the rest of the team. Zoe puts Syndra to sleep.
Very interesting. And what are we seeing here? We're seeing... What will we see?
It looks like down in the bot lane, Point Park is starting to take the first dragon of the game.
First drag.
Zoe rotating down from the mid lane to try and contest. Well, to try and stop any contested... I can't think of the word.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Even if they wanted to, Colombia was not able to contest. Point Park took that dragon very, very fast.
Very fast. That was quite effective. Dragon taken. And still at a 2 point for Point Park and 14.5k gold.
So 2k gold league for Point Park. Leona comes in to stun the Samira. However, it is not enough to be able to pull off a full engage.
It is not, no.
However, a little bit of damage is better than no damage.
Exactly.
Leona goes back in with the stun. Maokai jumping on Leona. Samira ult goes out. However, it does not take a kill with her. However, now it does. Samira has slain Highway 250.
We have seen that.
Vi comes back around the corner, ulting in on Samira. Maokai ult goes out, but Ribeiro gets the kill on Samira before it hits.
Yes. Man.
High Round gets the kill on Kai, rotating down from mid lane and throwing out a Q. Literally throwing a Q with the W.
Exactly, we're seeing that. That's... Okay, some very interesting strategies employed here.
Samira in the mid lane, what does seem to be a very interesting pick as, not Samira, Syndra in the mid lane, because she's just roaming down to bot lane to kind of help out when the jungler cannot. While the jungler's top side, Samira can come down bot lane and pick up a kill or two on her way down.
That's true. That is some very effective covering.
Zoe goes in,
Ooh.
taking out most of Samira's health bar, and setting off Ignite, getting her a little bit lower, and taking her out of that fight to maybe take the tower out.
That's true.
Morgana's not going to do anything about that.
And we're seeing some time being bidden here.
It looks like Vi is on the Void objective right now. I think it's the second set of grubs.
I believe you're right, because we just saw our first set.
Yeah, it's only 11 minutes. It's the second set of grubs. Will Point Park get all 6 of the grubs? It looks like Point Park got all 6 grubs.
Perfect.
Really getting that tower pushing potential.
They are. They certainly are. And right now we're looking at Point Park 3, Columbia 2.
However, Point Park does still have that 2k gold lead.
That
Which is
true.
very beneficial because the more items Point Park has, the more powerful their champions are.
Very true. And there is the first drag taken as well.
Rumble and Shen roughing it out, tussling up in the top lane, doing some trading. Shen seems to have taken away half of Nujabi's health bar, but Rumble has that flamethrower, which effectively keeps him away from the wave.
That is true. That is true. We're seeing some just keeping distance. Try to retain the health bar. Ooh, what do we see?
Rumble does get taunted, however, is able to survive Shen's engage, as Shen doesn't really do damage just yet. Most of his items are health items, so that's really helping Rumble stay alive right now.
That is.
However, it's also preventing Rumble from doing too much damage to Shen, as he has so much of a health bar.
We're definitely seeing that. Sometimes it's those unexpected things that make you last in the long run. And we're seeing some...
Looks like both teams are really holding out on engages right now, kind of just letting things happen as they do, going with the flow of the game.
That's true. We're looking at just some natural flowing. I mean, there are some games where that just has to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely. You know, we're seeing something happening here between Shen and Rumble. These two are really going at it.
That's the top lane gameplay for you.
That's
Just
true.
2 dudes duking it out.
Exactly.
Looks like Morgana is coming around the corner to maybe help Shen engage on that Rumble. Misses her Q, but the spell shield on Shen does help a lot.
That's true. It does.
Looks like Vi is looking towards the bot lane now, clearing out a couple of wards to start taking that drag that is spawning right now, actually.
Right now. Oh my gosh.
Syndra is engaging on Zoe in the mid lane, taking out half of Zoe's health bar.
We're looking at
However,
that.
Point Park is going in on that drag, just taking it out.
Taking it out.
Mount Kai and Samira are right around the corner. However, their jungler is all the way in the top lane up towards Rift Herald and can't really contest. They can't really contest that dragon without her. However,
Ooh.
Syndra does get the kill on Zoe.
That's true.
It
We do
looks
see
like
that.
the soul is going to be Infernal Soul again.
Infernal Soul again. An encore for that.
It looks like Columbia is going to start looking towards that
Oh.
Rift Herald. Ghost Waffles gets a kill on Nujabes, and then High Round gets a kill on Highway. Samira ult goes out, but it is not enough to take down Leona.
And we're seeing 5 point for Columbia. And Point Park at 3.
Seems like they really really focused on taking out Point Park in the early game, where they are their strongest. Leona goes in, engaging on Samira. Vi comes out of the bushes. However, not much can be done here.
No, not much can. And
However, that was enough to get Columbia off of the bot lane tower.
that was just enough.
And Rumble coming around from the corner, engaging.
Oh.
And Samira is doing Samira things, absolutely taking out Rumble, ulting once again on Leona, doing half of Leona's health bar. Vi goes in, ults on Samira, and Highway gets the kill. Kai is really low. However, Samira does get the kill on Ribeiro, and Shen gets the kill on Kai.
On Kai. So,
However, Ive gets a kill on Morgana.
True. We're okay. That was a very intense exchange. So now we're looking at 5 points for Point Park and 8 points for Columbia University.
And it looks like Columbia has jumped ahead in the gold lead, having 1K ahead of Point Park.
Yes, we are looking. It is pretty much going kind of toe to toe right now.
Columbia has really realized where Point Park shines and is really trying to take them out at the knees. However, Point Park still has the ability to tough it out and win this game.
That is true. I mean, we're
Samira catches out Zoe, gets put to sleep. However, Syndra does get that kill, taking out Zoe before Zoe's Q can even land.
That is true. That's what we're.
So while all of that was happening, Point Park started on the Rift Herald, and they were able to secure it before Columbia came down around the corner.
Yes, that was very good strategy right there.
While all of that was happening, Columbia is hard pushing in bot lane, trying to take that tower, or at least a few plates off of it.
They're looking at ways to just, sort of be effective multitasking and
Columbia destroys the first turret.
Yes. And we're looking at 5 points for Point Park and 9 for Columbia.
Looks like Vi came around the corner to try and engage on that shed. However, Syndra did teleport in, and Point Park can't really contest that with the teleport.
No, there's...
Okay, ult comes out, hits Leona, but she's able to escape, and it hits Aphelios on the way down. Leona jumps in, trying to do as much damage. However, the Morgana ult goes out, and Samira gets the kill on Highway once again.
And we're looking at a 5-point lead at Columbia University at 10 points.
And now we play the slow game again until something happens.
There is a lull.
The anticipation.
Yes, it's always that anticipation, and there's just a nice slow lull, which means we're probably going to see some hardcore action in just a bit.
We sure can hope.
Yes.
Let's see.
And
it looks like Drag's going to be spawning in about 25 seconds. Both teams starting to head towards that objective to hopefully try and secure it.
Exactly. And this would actually be, if Point Park gets this, it'll be a third drag, and we may see the Dragon Soul if we get another one after this one.
However, Samira and Syndra are really preventing Aphelios and Leona from even looking down towards the drag. While that is all happening, Vi places the Rift Herald in the mid lane. And it looks like they're going to take it around the corner.
And we're looking at...
It's possible that Point Park does not even realize that Morgana is on the dragon right now.
That's true. They may not realize that.
The dragon goes to red team.
Goes to red team. That goes to Columbia. Columbia gets that. And
Samira is on a killing spree, taking out Ive on Zoe. Samira is now 5-2 with a 400 gold shutdown.
And we're looking at a 6-point lead from Columbia University. 11 points.
Looks like both teams are gathering around topside jungle.
True. We're looking at some very careful but intense. Definitely, like the playing field is very balanced for both.
Looks like Baron Nashor has just spawned, not too long ago, which is possibly why both teams can be setting up around top jungle, just trying to get vision and try and make sure the other team isn't going there.
That's true. Both teams are fighting really hard to prevent each other from getting to that.
Looks like Aphelios and Leona are staying in the mid lane, as well as Samira and Maokai. Morgana's coming around the corner to kind of show support, being like, hey, I'm here for you guys.
Exactly. Always good to have support.
Vi and Zoe are hiding in a bush looking towards Syndra that is in the bot lane. However, Samira does take out mid turret.
True. We're looking at that, and
Looks like Shen might get top turret as well.
that's true. We're looking at
However, Rumble does come around the corner, which is going to prevent him from doing that.
Rumble and Shen. They've got quite a grudge match.
However, Shen is ahead in terms of kills. However, Rumble is ahead by about 10 CS.
Good point.
Which, in a way, evens them out to an extent.
That's true, it does. And we are waiting. Oh, what do we have
Rumble
here?
gets taunted by Shen.
Oh,
They're trading health bars pretty evenly.
very evenly.
However,
Oh, what are we seeing?
ooh,
Nope.
ooh, I'm interested to see where this is going. It looks like there's a little bit of a stare up going down in the bot lane. Not bot lane, mid lane.
All right. Okay, we're seeing some anticipation of something big happening, folks.
Ooh,
Ooh,
I'm excited to see.
something big is going to. I feel it.
Ooh, Leona goes in on the Maokai, gets a stun off. Maokai ult goes off, however, was not able to do much.
What will we see here? We're seeing some intense trade-offs here.
It looks like both teams are completely in the mid lane. What could happen here? I'm so excited.
Something's happening. Something's gathering. Something's.
The fact that there's just two teams like completely stacked up in the mid lane makes me so excited and makes me think something here happens.
Something will happen. Something big's
Stuns
happening.
are going off left and right, not necessarily making any contact. But once one of those stuns does make a contact, it's going to be huge.
It will be. What will we see? What will we see?
Looks like Rumble comes in with his flamethrower, lighting absolutely everything in his path on fire and pushing Shen away from that wave again. Drag is spawning in about 40 seconds.
This is shaping up to be interesting. Just the anticipation's building up.
Ooh. The Zoe Q on Syndra right there, doing a good chunk of her health bar, takes her out of the upcoming fight and causes her to recall. Both teams are setting up around Dragon, clearing vision, setting up their own vision, and taking the Scuttle Crab. Zoe's sleep goes off on Maokai. So Leona goes in, Maokai ult goes out as he jumps in on Zoe and away from Leona. Shen comes in from around the corner, as does Morgana.
And we're seeing quite a gathering happening here.
It looks like it's going to be a full-fledged 5v5 in
Ooh.
around the Dragon Pit for that drag.
There's gonna it's
Sleep
it's,
goes off on Samira. Vi goes in, does a lot of damage. Samira tries to dodge it. And Highway gets a kill on Morgana. Rumble gets the shutdown on Samira.
Shut down.
However, High Round does take out Ribeiro in the process.
True. We're now at Point Park 8, Columbia 12.
Half of Columbia's team is down, which gives Point Park the opportunity to take the dragon.
And this is some quite effective dragon taking quite quickly. And the dragon has gone to Point Park.
They are now 1 point away from Seoul. However, while they were taking dragon, Shen used that as an opportunity to push in that top tower and just chip at it a little bit. So eventually, he can take it down.
That is true. That is true. That can happen whenever you're taking like the big prize. That leaves it open for the team to chip away.
And it does look like Shen takes that tower down.
We see that, yes. Point Park 8, Columbia 12, 40K for Point Park, and 42.6 for Columbia.
Columbia still has a 2K gold lead on Point Park. And it looks like Columbia is going to start looking around the Baron pit, maybe to take that Baron.
That's true. We could see this. We could see this happening very soon.
The entirety of Columbia is hiding. The entirety except for Syndra is hiding in Point Park's topside jungle. Will they get caught out or will they come in from behind? Both are very, very possible.
That is true. It could go either way at this point. It's only a matter of seconds.
And it looks like they're going to avoid doing anything substantial here, just kind of leaving the jungle, knowing that it's not safe for them to be there.
That is true.
Oh, Shen does get caught out with the Leona ult. A stun goes out. Belios goes in, dealing a ton of damage. And Ribeiro gets the shutdown on Shen. And it looks like here now, Point Park is going to start setting up to take that Baron.
Oh, looks like this Baron could go to Point Park.
While they're doing that, Columbia does take tier 2 mid tower. However, Rumble is down in the bot side jungle, distracting most of Columbia's team.
Very interesting strategy. So it's good to have kind of like that extra hit, if you will. Oh, and
the Baron goes to Point Park. Leona goes in on Morgana, keeping her out of that pit to prevent that steal.
True.
The score is still 9-12, with Columbia having a 1K gold lead on Point Park. Point Park slowly closing in that gold gap.
Definitely, definitely. We're definitely seeing some leveling, some, sort of equalizing of the scoreboard here. It's definitely a tense match where there's no extremity happening. It's pretty well balanced.
Looks like there might be a big engage here by jumping over the wall, scaring away Columbia. And tier 1 mid tower goes to Point Park.
Oh. Red turret destroyed.
Looks like Morgana's trying to come around the corner, gets stunned, gets rooted, and Kai gets the kill on Morgana.
Now it's 10-12. Point Park.
Point Park is using that Baron to its full ability. Maokai ult goes out, getting a couple stuns off on Point Park.
And
we're still in the game.
Still in the game.
Let's go.
Let's go. Now we're at Point Park 11, closing in on Columbia's 12. Another red turret destroyed.
And that inhibitor goes to Point Park. With Void Grubs and Baron buff, Point Park is pretty much unstoppable when it comes to pushing in those waves.
Definitely a formidable force right now. They are unstoppable.
And it looks like Point Park might start heading towards Dragon as it is spawning in 44 seconds.
And we will see Dragon Soul.
And it looks like Point Park did get ahead of Columbia in terms of gold, as it is now 49 to 48. That's a 1K gold lead. Bit by bit, they're catching up.
Bit by bit, they are catching up.
Or even getting ahead.
They are. They are. Always, there's always something interesting when things are laid ahead, because that could easily tip the scale of the game.
Looks like both teams are setting up around Dragon. Everybody's back up and alive, ready to face off. Point Park is at soul point, so this is a very, very important battle for them.
Very, very important.
As Columbia does not want Point Park to get that Infernal Soul.
Definitely not. This is a very heatly contested.
Najavis gets the kill on the Syndra.
Scoreboard is now balanced. Point Park 12 to Columbia's 12.
And it looks like Point Park takes that Dragon with Columbia unable to contest. Infernal Soul goes to Point Park. Vi then begins to engage on Columbia. They're fighting under that tier 1 red turret. Ive gets a kill on the Shen. A double kill goes to Ninjabi's. And that's aced.
Aced. Point Park at 16. Columbia at 12. And
triple kill.
Triple kill.
For Ninjabi's.
16 for Point Park. And we're looking at a 4K lead in gold.
With this final push, that might be game.
This might be the game.
Syndra is up in 1 second.
Destroyed.
Does she have the ability to stop them all on her own?
What do we see?
And she does not. The win goes to Point Park University.
Goes to Point Park University. 16 for Point Park, 12 for Columbia. Impressive, intense game at the end.
I was not expecting that turn on. I really thought that we were going to have to go into a game 3 but Point Park really picked it up and turned it around there at the end.
Definitely. That was an intense game. I mean, we didn't know exactly where the game was going, but such a strong turnout in the end.
That was really exciting to see. The entire game, they were neck and neck, but one team fight really does it in for the end of the game.
It does, and I think, we got to see Dragon Soul that first. Very impressive game.
Very, very impressive.
Very impressive.
And
so, what do you think really helped different? Like, what was different in this game, in your opinion?
I think they had a bit more team coordination. I feel like because we switched around where a couple of people were laned up. I think everybody was in a lane where they felt a bit more comfortable being.
True.
And I really think it helped out that they had been practicing, I think, a bit more, and they had the last game for practice as well.
Very true.
They have a lot of experience under their belts now, and I think the team comps they've started setting up, they found people that really work well together in certain lanes that I wasn't even expecting. Like the Braum and the Zeri work really, really well. It seems they just have a bit more synergy than they did last time. They've really focused on playing all over the map instead of for one section, which I think benefits them at the end.
It did, especially like with coverage, like, for example, like adding distraction to get like a bigger objective, things like that. That really contributed to the victory.
Oh, 100% it did.
Yes, totally.
I think Point Park did fantastic this round, and I
think it was a very intense game. We did not know where it was going to go. It could have been anyone's game.
It really could have been.
Great sportsmanship on both sides. Really wowed out by the victory result.
And it was a pleasure watching this game happen. It was a pleasure casting it. And I'm so thankful that we were able to play against Columbia today.
Absolutely. Wonderful sportsmanship from Columbia. Wonderful sportsmanship on both sides. It was a very intense game. Had me on the edge of my seat.
Me as well.
Absolutely.
So we will not be seeing you guys next week as it is a bye week. However, we will see you in the following week.
Yes. So catch us then.
We hope to see you guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.